Okay. So before we start, I just have to announce one thing because part of this training will be recorded, parts of it. They're not the whole entire training, just certain portions of it, the introductions, midway, when you guys are conducting some of the exercises and all that. Simply because one of HRDC and HRD Corp requirements next year is that for all trainers who are going to be under HRDC grants will have to be accredited. You know, it's not enough to be to have your trainer certificate. Tak cukup lah. You have a DPP certificate. They want to further improve the quality of the trainers in the market. So they, despite on top of having your DPP sets, they will also require you to be accredited. And part of the accreditation process is to provide them with 90 million video collection lah, of one of the trainings that I conducted. And I think based on Sandabi punya skill set on PowerPoint lah, from 10 people that I trained, they all are quite good already. So I think it would be a good time for me to record. Now, if anybody objects to me recording this session, this 90-minute period of the session, just raise your hand because it just takes one person to disagree and I will stop the recording. Is there, kalau siapa yang disagree, angkat tangan. Alhamdulillah, thank you. Right. I have to make it formal lah, because now it's being recorded. Kena minta kenalan dulu, alright? Okay. Now, man, you can barely see because the camera is not exactly a good quality as long as you nampak the shape of people in the room. That's good enough already. You all will not be recognized for. Okay. Okay, so let's get the show on the road. Now, in terms of formalities, that's as far as it goes, yeah. Because I think just from the first 2 or 3 minutes of me talking, you can already get the idea that I am not the typical boarding dry kind of trainer lah. I need to sembang sikit. I like to make things more casual. Okay. Walaupun PowerPoint, the word PowerPoint and casual, from the word PowerPoint dengan fun ni is not exactly related to each other. I think most of us, when it comes to creating PowerPoint presentations, we kena buat document, we kena buat report, we kena buat proposal. I think most of us will just not again, a few more slides have to do. Just start mengeluh. Yeah, we all are getting to that point where creating presentations have become a hassle. It's taken the fun out of things. Yeah. So I want to bring back the fun part. I want to bring back the excitement that you get as and when you are presented with an opportunity to create a presentation. Yeah. So allow me these next 2 days to revive that energy in you. Yeah. So, like I said, tadi, Sandabi standards when it comes to PowerPoint presentations, I think is okay. Trust me, I've seen really bad PowerPoints from the amount of trainings I've done over the years, right? But I see a big variety of people in the room. I'm sure some of the skill sets vary. Semua ada smartphone sebelah you? Right. Now, quickly scan that QR, okay, and input your answer to me where you rank yourself between these 5. Your own personal assessment, where do you think you fare in terms of your PowerPoint skills? Alright, 0, whether it's very teruk, whether it's poor, whether boleh lah, I'm good, ataupun yang nombor 1 tu I dah nak test malam tu, I put sipu level lah. But anybody else can actually, yeah, please contribute. Oh, ramai boleh tahu. Tu dia. Siapa yang very teruk tu? Aduh. Modest juga lah. Very modest. Humble. Kan? Okay, let's see. Where's every... Penuh lah beli lah. Okay, bit more. There's 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. There's about 30 plus of you here. I want to see more bubbles going in. Cukup lah. Somebody else pukul dia. Lie. Alright. Okay. There's one good that probably I can pull you one side to help me clean up my client slides. Okay. Alright. Okay. So kalau semua orang dah input, you see, just from this slide alone, I'm showing you how PowerPoint can be a little bit more engaging with the audience instead of just a one-way delivery. You presenter, you cakap, as the audience you dengar. But just from this tool alone, you can see that how you can interact with your audience in the future. And this is a plugin on PowerPoint called Mentimeter. Nanti I will show you the link macam mana nak install and all that, where you can create immediate surveys, interact with the phone, immediate results keluar. This is a really, really good tool. Yeah. So if even things like this you never knew you could do out of PowerPoint, then you are really, really underutilizing PowerPoint. Okay. All right. So let's see. Final total. Okay, ada dua very teruk. 23 boleh lah. I'm good and okay. Nobody self-proclaimed cikgu lah. Okay, tak apa. Very good. That's just me. All right. So let's get the show on the road. Now, why I asked that question is because anybody here has been to another PowerPoint training class sebelum ni? Have you been sent to another PowerPoint training? No? Okay. So, if this is your first and only first time ever to attend a PowerPoint class, the next time somebody decides to send you to a PowerPoint training, you tunjuk tangan, tak payah, okay? I can guarantee you, insyaAllah, tomorrow, you will be probably among the 0.5% in the country, not necessarily in the country that actually knows this much about PowerPoint. Okay? I myself, I've done all the hard work for you. I have gone to a lot of PowerPoint training over the past few years. Yeah? Not because I nak belajar apa-apa, but it's just to see what my competitors are teaching. And whether lain tak daripada I punya module and things like that. And this is what I discovered. Yeah? In terms of what is other trainers, they have a very similar pattern. Diorang punya module, when they train PowerPoint, a lot of them explain about what the functions are. You ada banyak-banyak tool dekat atas, the toolbar on top, there's a lot of buttons there. They show you what the buttons are, apa dia, and how to use it. That's it. So, button itu apa? This function is for what? This is for what? That's it. Very instructional punya style. Yeah. But about 90 to 95% of that, 90 to 95% of them don't explain why. They don't explain why you should do it this way, why you should use this function instead of this one, why you should approach it this way. They don't explain the reasons behind why you should approach your tools that way. So I put a lot of focus, a lot of importance on the whys. Yeah. And the first why that I want to share with you, one is a very simple thing. Yeah? So I'm sure some of you pakai PowerPoint for very, very different reasons. Yeah? Sometimes one person, you do different types of documents. Some of you kena buat proposals. Some of you kena buat reporting. Right? Some of you kena buat summaries or whatever types of document lah in terms of content. Dari segi content, there's a lot of variations out there. Now, type of content aside, tetap kecil, because fundamentally, before you even decide on the content itself, the fundamental document type, ada dua je. There are only two types of documents that we create using PowerPoint. Yeah? The first one is called a presentation document. So I'm sure you understand what this document is. It's a document that you are required to stand in front of your slides. You project it on the screen, you stand in front of it, and you present, you talk. Okay? That's a presentation document. Okay? So, the other document that we also use PowerPoint for is a submission document. So, a submission document is just a document yang you create using PowerPoint. And then you just attach an email and you send out to the recipients. You all baca lah at your own time. But you are not required to present it at all. Right? So these are the two types of documents that we generally create using PowerPoint. The biggest mistake, the biggest mistake that we do on PowerPoint is that when we create a document, we try to create a document that satisfies both formats. Okay, nak present pun boleh. Tapi kalau orang tu tak ada dalam bilik tu, when we present, we can also email to him, and bila dia baca, dia faham juga. Right? So we try to create a presentation, a document where it's meant for presentation, but if we send it as an attachment to people who were not at the presentation, they will still be able to read it and understand it. I think that's the most common format that we do. Now, I'll tell you why that is not optimal, why that is not good. Because the way cara manusia, yeah, the way people consume these two types of information, these two types of documents are very different. Let me explain. Okay, for a presentation, for a submission document, when you design your document and then you attach on email, you send it across to the recipient. Recipient to buka email, they download the attachment, they save it on the desktop, and then they open your PowerPoint. When they open the PowerPoint, what do you do? What is the activity? They read, right? You just read. At their own pace, at their own time, their own level of understanding, baca. That's the only activity that's happening. Reading. Okay, so they, hello? Read. Now, for a presentation document, this is the thing. If you expect, when you design your document, your presentation document, and with the objective of you expect your audience to read whatever that you put on your slide that you display on screen, but at the same time, you also want them to listen to what you're saying. You don't baca all these paragraphs and sentences that you display. At the same time, you tengah bercakap, you also nak dia faham apa yang cakap. Tuan-tuan, let me just assure you that they will probably compromise on one of those two activities. Satu tu they will letak tepi. Yeah. If they are listening to you and understanding what you're saying, diorang akan baca tapi mungkin tak faham. Or if they are reading your slides, they are trying to understand all the sentences that you are putting on display, most likely they are not understanding what you're saying. Dia macam soundbite je, just by the way bunyi, right? So the human brain cannot optimize both reading and listening activities at the same time. That's where people drop out. Okay. So what do you do to make to have it more optimized? How do you optimize it? Instead of presentation documents, instead of making slides for people to read, you create slides for people to see. Okay. The activity of seeing and listening complements each other. They just see your key numbers, they just see your key data. That's it. Jangan galakkan orang untuk membaca sentences and paragraphs. That's when you lose the room. Okay. So which is why I put a lot of importance in slide designs. Jangan treat PowerPoint as a horizontal A4 paper. Baik, pakai Microsoft Word, jangan pakai PowerPoint. Right? Don't treat it as a reading document for a presentation. Yeah? When I design slides, I try to make it look like, instead kalau I buat 30 slides, I don't do 30 slides, I do 30 posters. That's the kind of mentality that I have lah. I will create 30 posters. Every slide nampak cantik, macam that can stand alone, right? So that is the way I approach it lah. Now, so as a recap, two facts. Yeah? The human brain cannot optimize the activity of reading and listening at the same time. And the other known fact is, of course, we know for a fact that our visual memory is better than our text memory. We remember pictures and visuals more than we remember sentences and paragraphs, right? So, yet, the way people design your presentation documents is challenging these two. It's going against these two human natures. So which is a bit ironic. Yeah? So let's get it back on track so that whatever we do on our slides, it memang is taking advantage of these two human natures. Alright, so we go straight to the foundation or to the root of the problem, we assess it and we fix it. Okay, great. Now, another very simple analogy. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, how many of you agree with this statement that the aerial conic tak cantik? Bukan, because I like aerial. I hate aerial. I think it's one of the ugliest fonts next to calligraphy. Calligraphy is, oh sorry, Sandapi, do you all have an official font yang you never had? Serious lah, aerial. Okay, tak apa, right. Aerial is my second least favorite. My most paling I tak suka is calligraphy. I live with a very simple mantra. My favorite acronym is ABC. Anything but calligraphy. Okay, so yeah, Arial is just a bad. Okay, but never mind. There are a few things that we are going to overcome with this. Now, I used to think that way. Arial, Calibri, Times New Roman, semuanya standard fonts yang Microsoft bagi ni tak cantik, right? Then again, tuan-tuan dan puan, the one yang belah kanan tu is also Arial. Okay, that is also Arial. So it's not so much about the type of font, it's also about what you can do with it. Yeah, if you turn your simple headers or your simple statements, you turn it into a design. You give it angles, you buat perspective sikit, and you make it really, really nice. If you don't know how to make even your text nampak macam tu, you are really, really underutilizing PowerPoint. Yeah. So this training is basically to change not only your belief in your system, but also more importantly your capabilities. From doing things on the left, your boring to having the ability to do things on the right when it's very design based. That's our journey for the next 2 days. Okay? And trust me lah guys, the moment you know how to do the things on the right, sumpah you takkan buat benda on the left again. Selagi ada chance you want to show off to all your other colleagues, oh, we design smart, so we love that dopamine injection, that approval, and we want to flex our creativity and all that. Trust me, the moment you know how to do things on the right, that is going to be the way you roll from now on. So it's just human nature for us to not go back to the beginning. All right. So how are we going to do this? How are we going to do things on the right? Because there's no such button to actually transform your text on the left, but to do things on the right. There's not one single button you can click, mark terus dia jadi jump to. There's no way you can do that. The function doesn't exist. So to do things like that, yeah, I'm going to have my very unique methodology that other trainers don't train. I will show you how we are going to manipulate PowerPoint. Yeah, we are going to abuse PowerPoint to the point that, we are going to use it the way that it's not supposed to be used. We are going to be the rebels of PowerPoint. We're going to exploit the tools where kita find the hidden techniques ataupun dia punya ceruk-ceruk yang tak pernah explore tu. We're going to abuse the system. We are going to manipulate the functions to do things that it wasn't designed to do. Yeah, to combine some of these techniques to achieve a higher level of design. Yeah, so it's going to be a very what do you call it? Eye-opening session, yeah. And I'm sure how many of you guys are night, how many of you feel that you tengok semua ni dah takut, alah banyak ni nampak macam banyak creative exercise. I am not creative. How many of you feel that way about yourself? Where dalam badan you ni, you rasa you have zero creative fiber in your body lah. How many of you feel that you're not creative? Is that why you're in property? Umurnya tak apa. Orang yang normally when I do my classes, the people yang cakap they're not creative, when they do their exercises, I observe dia jauh, dia orang yang paling cantik design. A lot of people think they're not creative because to me, the way I see it is very different. You think you're not creative, but in actual fact, it's just because you don't know the tools itself. But the moment you tahu tools tu boleh buat certain things kind of ideas that starts coming out will be almost natural. Yeah, I can guarantee it, inshallah. Okay. So I've been talking for a while and I have not introduced myself yet. Okay. Let me show you a few samples of what I do first. Okay. Like I said, when I design my PowerPoint slides or when I create presentations, I don't create 30 slides, I create 30 posters. Every slide that I do will look like a design. Yeah. Even for the simplest of content, or if I wrote the sentences, the text and all that, I try to make it very design driven. Instead of writing in the traditional sentence format, I tukar nampak macam quota, I give it angles, I give it perspective values and things like that. Yeah? So and then I animate, I make things moving, so that when I stand in front of an audience on a big stage, they just have to see my slides, yeah, while I talk about it. Okay, so that's one. And then some of you will say, alah Jo, yang ni kalau talk dekat, conference ke, dekat summit ke, you do deliver a keynote address, boleh lah buat cantik-cantik. But my job, my work, when I create PowerPoint, I feel like deal with a lot of data. From numbers, figures, tables, statistics, graph, chart, mana boleh buat cantik-cantik. Guys, ni semua pun graph and chart, ni semua data, ni semua statistics. Doesn't mean that the nature of the content is very data driven or numbers driven. It has to be boring. Don't think that way. Yeah, the moment you get the right kind of images to support it, the way you place your content strategically, optimally, it will still give you a little bit of flair. It may not not an excuse. The kind of data that you put in is not an excuse to make your slides look right. Okay. I also design a lot of corporate profiles for my clients and things like that. I also design a lot of dashboards for my clients. Now, these dashboards, most of them are meant for bosses because these bosses every time you run about town hall. Yeah, I think you all put under some town hall coming up or something like that. So these guys, the senior management, when they do town halls, they got 5-star hotel, put the big room. They will want to present the numbers and the updates in the dashboard style. So I will design the interface, I will design the screen and all that. And all these numbers that you see on this design is not written on the slide itself. Data numbers come from an Excel sheet. So every time you don't update the data on the Excel sheet, the next time you don't look at PowerPoint, they will show the latest numbers. So tak payah buat banyak kali. Update from Excel saja, buka the same PowerPoint 3 months down the road, they will show the latest data. So there's a very nice way to do integration between PowerPoint and Excel juga, which I will share with you how to do this. Not to design dashboard yang tu next level already, maybe 1 year down the road, kita buat lah. But in terms of tarik data from Excel, I will show you how to do it. I also design a lot of infographics as well using PowerPoint. So I'm sure most of us in this room today, kita ada some seniors or bosses yang masih cakap, kenapa slide ni tak cantik lah, so your slide so dry, can you make it more infographic? Seems to be like a catchphrase nowadays, sikit infographic. And then you don't come from a design school, you have no design background. So what do? You go to Google that, carilah infographic template sample, macam infographic we design on Google. But they come with watermark lah, ada dummy text lah, semua tak boleh pakai, right? So I just want to share with you what you see on screen here are all infographic designs that I created purely using PowerPoint saja. Yeah, and if you don't have any creativity, you feel that you cannot design from scratch, I have a very, very simple cheat code that I will share with you. So if you don't have the ability to create infographics from scratch, I have the perfect answer for you. Okay. So by tomorrow, by the end of tomorrow, when you leave this room today, tomorrow, you will have a completely different perception of what PowerPoint is. Now you think that PowerPoint is just a tool to make presentation, but by tomorrow, you will discover that PowerPoint is actually above and beyond it being a presentation tool. It is actually a very good design tool also. Sama macam your Photoshop, your Illustrator and all that. Yeah. So in my previous industry, when I used to design my Facebook postings for my clients, and I design poster, I design website page mock-up, all this that you see on screen were done completely using PowerPoint as well. Yeah. So you discover that. Then the next time you want to put internal communication, letak e-flyer on your email any simple designs that you want to do, you can use PowerPoint for it. Yeah. Now, how many of you dah rajin pakai PowerPoint punya biggest competitor today? Can anybody guess what is PowerPoint's biggest competitor today? Canva. How many of you are active Canva users? 1, 2, 3. Semua yang muda-muda. Yang tua-tua tak sentuh Canva lagi, takut. Okay. Now, I love Canva. In fact, I created a class where it's a 1-day class where the first half of the day I talk about PowerPoint. The second half of the day I have a Canva expert trainer to talk about Canva, the difference and similarities and all that. So it's actually a very good tool. Yeah. Certain things PowerPoint are very good at. Canva tak boleh buat. Certain things Canva is a lot better. Yeah, that PowerPoint tak boleh buat. So that class the people who came for the class, they don't have the conclusion. At the end of the day, it was very simple. It's not about whether PowerPoint better or Canva better. We discovered something even better. How do you collaborate the two platforms? Kalau Canva ni nak edit gambar, nak remove background, nak letak filter and all that, Canva is very powerful. I create my visual on Canva, I save it on my desktop, I insert dalam PowerPoint, the PowerPoint, I boleh buat animation yang lebih spesifik. The animation of PowerPoint are a lot more dynamic. So they realize that these two tools, if you work them together, is even more impactful versus which one is better, right? So, but don't worry about that part. Yeah? If anybody wants to attend that class next time, I think you just make a request to learning environment. Inshallah, we will arrange another one. Okay, but we'll do this one first. All right. Okay, so now I don't normally share a lot of videos, but one thing I discovered is trainers, especially during the PKP era, these guys have made total. They like to prepare a lot of pre-recorded videos of themselves talking. So while you are forced to watch, they will play the video of them talking, explaining, and then while you have to watch those videos, you have breakfast lah, main anak-anak lah, and things like that. They just give you, and then they come back 15 minutes later, ask you a few more questions, and then they go back, play you another video, and they'll such a passive way of conducting training. So I don't do that. I don't play a lot of videos for you to watch. However, there's just one video that I do want you to watch. Yeah, and the reason why is two reasons. Reason number one is because it will give you a very broad idea of what this training is about. Yeah? Not just from what you will learn, but dari segi dia punya character, dari segi what people say about it, the recognitions that I received, and some of the things that you will learn. Yeah, just a very holistic view of what this training is about. That's the first thing. Reason number two is more important. Reason number two is this video was done completely using PowerPoint. So for those of you who've never explored the idea of creating some really high energetic, impactful videos, the PowerPoint said, this is my personal guarantee to all of you in the room today. By the time you all leave this room, by the time we say bye-bye, everybody in this room will be able to make videos macam that I'm about to show you. Yeah? My personal guarantee. Kalau tidak, I don't even charge for that video stream. I take that back. I was still charged, but that's how confident I am. All right. So anyway, it's going to be a bit loud, but you know, everybody in the room here is probably under 35, right? Semua under 35. Okay lah. So orang-orang muda sedang train, semua yang over 35 pun ganggu. Right. So let's just take 2 minutes to watch this rather loud video, but I'll try to maintain the volume still.